The cameras are good. We're ready for audio.
We're recording.
Oh, we're recording right now?
Yeah, we're recording.
All right. Welcome to the Horseshoe Hootenanny.
Mountain lady, girl, you help me to be strong. Don't know where I would be if you hadn't come along. 'Cause out here just you and me, buzzards and those honeybees, yours like wind blowing through the trees. Ain't no place that I'd rather be than with you. Mountain lady, oh you, straight through to my core. Got me out here doing things that I've never done before. Generation young and old, with a love so strong and a love so bold. Leave no trace and we'll heal our woes. There ain't no place that I wouldn't go for you.
I've been out rambling around and I just can't face the truth. Had to go within myself so I could find my way to you. My mountain lady,
Got you feeling torn out here among pretty peaks. Your problems seem so small
When it's you and me and the honeybee. It's you and me and the Ozark breeze. You and me and the honeybee. You and me and the Ozark breeze. You and me and the honeybee. You and me and the Ozark breeze. All natural love, rock solid tough. I can't get enough of your sweet mountain love, mountain lady.
Okay, so I want to know who's responsible for getting the band together. Is it Gary? Is he the...
Well, I played music with a member who's not here today, Blake, in 2015 in Conway. We were the GB Experience, Garrett and Blake. And then I played music with Grant. I needed a drummer for a river gig that I had, and last second he came and played with me, and we just clicked. And then played with Peyton with her cello for the very first time that we ever played. It was me, Peyton, Grant, and our roadie, Will. And I was kind of in a different place. I knew I was going to be moving out of state soon, and decided that like I would probably play music with them at some point, but just now wasn't the time, and moved back into Arkansas after like 2 years or so, and all the pieces came together. We added another member from Chicago named Mikey that's not here as well. But yeah, we just all got together, started playing. It made sense, and we've been doing it ever since.
Mm-hmm. Gary, one more for you. Like, what's it like organizing a thing like today, like this? Because you love to do you like to do it big.
A lot of help. I have a lot of help. I don't know. It's communication. It's just getting good people and not getting torn up when things don't go the way that you want them to. I think is the biggest part. Just putting all the communication threads out there and then hoping that people show up, and if you get the people in the right place, something will happen. You know.
Speaking of the right place, what is it about this area of the state that makes you want to, or inspires you to want to do this here?
I've had a lot of very memorable experiences here. Pretty passionate about rock climbing at one point in my life, and have just been up here. I've written songs here. I've written songs about here, and it just seems right.
So Grant, somebody like Gary, his mind is obviously, works differently than a lot of people's. What's it like dealing with Gary's energy? And Peyton, you can chime in too. Gary's got an energy.
Yeah, he's got a very intentional, purposeful, chaotic energy that somehow always comes together at the end. It's incredible, but sometimes, you run into some hiccups and things like that. I think what's key about that is we have a really cool community of like-minded musicians and artists and people of that nature with a somewhat of a common goal, right? So regardless of exactly which way we go about it, we're going to get to the end goal.
Peyton, being the only female, do you find yourself being the mom? Do you find yourself being the voice of reason? You think your role is different than?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely hold the boys together. I'm definitely the mom.
She's the glue.
I definitely gotta make sure they got everything. Make sure they got all their instruments with them.
Extra strings.
Pack their lunch.
Keeps us out of
all that
trouble
kind of
with
stuff.
people, too.
Yeah.
People seem to trust Peyton a lot more than they trust me or Gary.
What's the goal for Sycamore? I mean, y'all haven't been at this super long, but you kind of got a little traction. You're playing a lot of shows. What's some things y'all want to do as a group?
I mean, we want to do it as long as it's fun to do and as long as it keeps growing and touching people and it's worth sharing. If it's clicking, like it's clicking, we're going to keep on clicking. And that's the goal.
1, 2, 3, 4. Girl, lace up your dancing shoes. Gonna stop those blues into the ground. Swing and whirl my corner, girl, and come right home to the love I found. Alaman left with my left hand, then back again till I find my way. Right back to those raven eyes and that crazy smile that lights my day. Chase the fox and chase the coon, chase that old boy around the moon. Chase the rabbit, chase the squirrel, chase that pretty girl around the world. Wave the ocean and wave the sea, wave that pretty girl back to me. Wave the ocean, wave the shore, wave this time, wave no more. Then I'll break out in a do-side-do, chicken in the bread pan, picking out dough. Round, round and round we go. Granny, does your dog bite? Don't y'all know? Up your dancing shoes, gonna stop those blues into the ground. Swing and whirl my corner, girl, and come right home to the love I found. Yeah. All right. I'm good with that if you guys are.
All right, so what is the origin story of Grace Stormont and her music?
Well, growing up, I had started playing in church because no one could make fun of you in church. It's kind of a solid place to start if you want a captive audience. a while later, when I was about 15, we ended up moving to Mountain View, and that's where I learned a lot of the folk music and old time that I do. I learned how to play clawhammer, banjo, and fiddle, and an array of other things.
Yeah, what all kind of instruments do you play?
Play fiddle, banjo, bass, guitar. I can play a little bit of dulcimer if you ask me.
What is
nicely.
a dulcimer?
A dulcimer, so there's mountain dulcimers and there's hammered dulcimers. Hammered dulcimers, you playing with hammers. And they have 78 strings. So that's a lot. I play a mountain dulcimer, which is just 3 strings, sometimes 4 if you have a drone. And you just play it on your lap like this.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what does it feel like being a younger artist, but kind of in the renaissance of an older style of music in folk and bluegrass? And how does that feel being part of that?
Well, sometimes being around at different festivals and stuff, I can feel like a whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like a pain with some of the older folks, but it also feels good because I know that I'm helping preserve the old music and some of the old art forms and stuff.
That's awesome. So how long have you been writing songs, and what brought that out of you? Where do you think that comes from?
I started writing when I was 16, and one of my first songs was just a story I made up, and another one that I wrote around that time when I first started was one that I wrote about my grandmother. It's a really cool song.
What's it called?
But it's called An Orphan's Prayer. It's on my album. But I don't know, I just have always liked storytelling, and so that's kind of how I got into songwriting, just so I could tell stories to folks.
Yeah, put another note on the
Kaleidoscope colors that do on the ground, rolling in one road that leads out. The people, the places, the sights and the sound. My hometown, learned it from birth if we're straight in the edge. That we did would undo what we said. As we cross greener pastures, our hearts broke then. My hometown. Houses, they walked in these halls on much too young shoulders, hope rises and falls in my hometown. Remembrance of file down the road leads by the streams where the clear waters flow, and it ends in a field lined with crosses and oaks in my hometown. And whoa, kaleidoscope colors that do on the ground. Road leading in, one road that leads out.
What's y'all's origin story? How did y'all get together?
Go Lloyd.
Lloyd is the origin.
We just we hooked up. We had another band going. It kind of disintegrated, and we all kind of knew each other from playing in other groups. And AJ, I knew him from church. And anyway, it just kind of fell together really easily, real simple. We get along good. Not a single fist fight in 10 years.
10 years y'all been together?
Close to it.
Yeah, I think so. I think I was 18 or 19, so.
Wow.
How
You're
old
getting old,
are you now?
I
AJ.
just turned 28, so it's.
Well, that'd be about 10 years.
So that was actually going to be my next question is like, what makes it worth playing and coordinating 4 different people with 4 different lives and still making music?
Well, it ain't the
Drugs and the
money,
goats.
I can tell you that.
When it clicks, I mean, when you get to play out somewhere and it's just a feeling.
Yeah.
I've played with Lloyd since I was 13, and I'm 46.
Oh, wow.
So
Some longevity.
Yeah,
we kind of like each other.
Oh.
Yeah, we've never had a fight, ever.
Oh.
So how did you come in the mix, Patrick?
Long story. In 2006, I was playing for a church and knew a mutual friend of ours. We started playing, and 16, 17 years later, here we are.
So you're the songwriter, right?
Most of the time. These are the arrangers. I write, they arrange.
Okay,
They
okay.
tell me what
90%
I write it, and they tell me what I did wrong.
No, I get that. I get that. So when did you start writing music? And why, like, where do you think that comes from, Lloyd?
High school, I had a teacher, was always on me. He'd been a college professor, and the first time he got me, he caught me. He said, "I want to speak to you after class, Mr. Spinks." He always called me Mr. Spinks. I was leaving. He said, I think it would be a tragedy if you didn't try to at least try to make a living with a pen. And at that time, it was just, he just read some lyrics and short stories and stuff I'd written, but it kind of inspired me. And I loved it. I loved back in the day, you get an album, and it's for the lyrics, you can read the lyrics, and it's not that way so much anymore. But I'd sit for hours, and I think, man, I could do that. Started playing guitar when I was early teens. I don't know, 300, 400, 500 songs later, here I am.
Yeah, we were just talking. You still write pretty often, right?
Yeah, I write every night, something.
Well, all right. That's pretty much the interview for the band. I do have a question for AJ.
Oh, boy.
I'm curious as to why he still keeps coming around and doing projects with Sycamore.
Because you should do everything you can while you can, I think. And I like to work with people that are good and easy to work with, and y'all are fun to hang around with, easy to deal with, 90% of the time.
Not what you said on the way down here.
That is not true. That is not true. Listen, I did nothing but brag about Gary on the way down here.
Yeah,
So,
he does. That was a lot.
No, I like the music, I like the projects, and there's not a lot of people around that do it. So I try to kind of cling tight to people that like to do creative stuff.
It's our nation's first river, and what a mistake if we listen to the government and built another lake. If we'd flooded that valley to be submerged forevermore, I would never have been here, but sitting by the shore on the headwaters of Ponca, near the 7-mile bend, standing epic road bluff lines that seem to never end. And there's towering beech trees, never touched by a chainsaw, and the meddlings of mankind, it will not be his downfall. And I'm still ever grateful that it all came to be. at the Buffalo River, it will always be free. I know there's hard feelings, and perhaps rightly so, for the folks living down there. We're told they had to go, and the bureaucrats moved in with all them new rules to follow. Well, it can't have been easy, what a bitter pill to swallow. While some have forgiven, others say that they won't. Seems you're damned if you do, seems you're damned if you don't. But as time heals all things for our sons and our daughters, we can all be thankful. But it's not all underwater, and every once in a while seems we might get things right. And preserving that river, it was worth all the fight. And I'm still ever grateful that it all came to be. That there's still one river that will always run free. Yeah, the Buffalo River, it will always run free. Yeah, the Buffalo River, it will always run free.
First of all, how are y'all doing, Kelly and Donna?
We are doing good. We're
in the most beautiful place in the Ozarks. I can't even believe.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So what is the origin story of Still on the Hill?
So it was, I think we started this whole thing rolling about 27 years ago. And Don and I have both been working our whole life as musicians separately. And then we met at a recording studio in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and we realized that the ingredients were there for something we've been imagining, and we found a couple other guys to help us. We started off as a four-piece group in the early days, so we had upright bass and banjo and guitar and fiddle, and we were writing our own music, and we were just kind of feeling our way through it, and that was lovely, and we did that for 5 or 6 years, and then we the band kind of crumbled or fell apart, and the two of us decided to keep it going, and we've been
much easier with just two.
Yeah,
yeah.
Not as much coordinating.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's been a really fascinating journey, but all good. You know.
So, 27 years of music. What are some of the things that you feel like you've had to sacrifice to put that much time and energy into something? And what do you feel like you've gained as a result of that?
Well, you know, that's a really deep question because when you become a musician, when that becomes your sole income, that changes things a little bit. Sometimes some of the playfulness can disappear.
You have to do all the booking and all the promo and all that other stuff.
And you got to be careful so that you don't just start rehearsing just to do the gigs. You get to remember that it's all about the joy of making music, and if you're not careful, that can slip away. So you have to be mindful to keep that in your life all the time.
One of the cool things is when we got together, our son was 5 years old, and we got to homeschool him all over the country. I mean, we in the back of the van with 4 musicians, upright bass, all of our luggage, and homeschooling.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's no secret that traveling on a small scale like we do in a minivan can be taxing and stressful at times, and you don't know what to do with yourself at times. But on the other hand, it's exciting, and you have moments of adventure that you'll remember the rest of your life. So.
And we got to, we had a record label in Switzerland and got to tour Europe for 9 years on and off, and that was really a dream. That was exciting.
Yeah.
So, what would y'all say to younger musicians who are trying to put their music out with intention, that are kind of taking that torch and bearing that? What would you have to say to musicians like that are younger?
Well, music is first of all, if they're looking to make a living at it.
If they're looking to become famous.
There's lots of different ways of looking at it. Don and I are very, we're tarnished in terms of the idea of becoming a celebrity and being famous. That is like playing the lottery. We know lots of people that have enormous talent and they're not famous. Okay, and so basically, I think it's more about a work ethic. You love what you do. Figure out how to make ends meet.
Keep your overhead low.
Yeah, that's a very important part of the equation. And if you work hard and you have something that's truly original and from the heart, you'll find a way to make ends meet. If you're sitting there, thinking that, gosh, if I don't make it in 6 years, I'm going to quit. That's a dead end, And so I guess the advice I would have for young people is to just make sure this is really something you enjoy, and it may not be the easiest way to make a living, but it's a very lovely lifestyle.
Be so smooth, but on the inside, my knees will be weak. Me swearing with you, we're right where we both wanna be. So right now we'll sway.
They say
lost in your way,
no care for today.
Baby, we'll sway. Lost in your way,
no care for today.
So baby,
I'm stifling my hiccups.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, you're gonna have hiccups during the interview.
Dude, not if you'll just let me do my. Hold on.
He can't stop him. He says he can.
I've proved it before.
Yeah, I mean, my man with the beautiful jean jacket and gorgeous glasses and all that stuff, this guy can, a little bit inside.
There's gonna be some hiccups in the bloopers.
There you go.
I don't think I've ever heard Peyton do anything like that.
Oh, that's so, well, it didn't have to be that much, because I'd like to see that guitar too.
This is like like mostly the Grant show over here, so just so.
Yes, please. Thank you. Yes, sir. Okay. Garrett, if you don't move like that, it looks like your hair is full of diamonds, actually.
Are they gone? The hiccups?
They're more gone than they were before you screamed at me.
Hell yeah. We did it.
Okay, I think I'm good.